Good evening, my viewers. Welcome to another edition of Essential Inspirational Highlights. Excuse me, my listeners. I need to open this mail from my company. Wow! I just received a bonus for my job. $55,000. And I'll receive a notification on a promotion. I've been promoted to an use my entire $55,000 bonus for down payment on a 2022 convertible Rolls Royce. Oh, this is my dream. I'll be the center of attraction in my neighborhood and the job. Since I'll be making more money now, I need to upgrade my entire wardrobe. I want all designer labels. I will shop until I drop, using the extra monies from my big salary. Also, I'm an Alaskan cruise vacation and invite a couple of friends to celebrate my new promotion. I'm so excited. And now 5 days later, it's 5 days later, after purchasing the car. What? This is a letter from my car insurance. Uh-oh. What? Notice of insurance increase. The 2022 Rolls Royce has a premium of $1,125 a month. I wasn't expecting this. My listeners, I did not even think about the cost of insurance on the car and the maintenance for this luxury vehicle. When I had my other vehicle, which was paid for, of course, I was paying only $78 a month for the car insurance. Well, so much for my tithes. I need to pay the insurance on my new vehicle. And now this is 2 years later. 2 years later. Oh, this is from the company. Oh, what is this? From my company. What? What? Dear employee, as an executive of the company, you will receive a 30% pay cut until further notice. Sincerely, company president. A 30% pay cut. My listeners, the company is downsizing. All executives will receive a 30% pay cut until further notice. My listeners, I'm already living from paycheck to paycheck, and I blew my entire savings. My 401k is down to $75. I use most of the monies from my 401k to pay for a world cruise, which cost $65,000. My listeners, this was a cruise of a lifetime. Now that my salary is reduced by 30%, I don't have enough money to pay the car note on my Rolls Royce. Well, I should say my convertible Rolls Royce, and the mortgage on the new house that I just purchased 3 weeks ago with a swimming pool in the backyard. Sadly, my listeners, when I sold my old house, it was paid for. I used all the monies toward the down payment on my new big house with that swimming pool in the backyard. In a few months, the house will go in foreclosure. Uh-oh. What do I see out there? Oh my. I see a record driver. He's outside towing my 2022 Rolls Royce. This is so embarrassing. Oh, how embarrassing this is. I keep up with my lavish lifestyle. This is just too embarrassing. Oh my. Now I see the neighbors looking outside. They're outside looking. I would be the laughing stock now of the neighborhood. My bills are behind and I have no savings. I'm spending more than what I make. My finances are a disaster. Listeners, this is a scenario of what could happen when you have veered off track and lost control of your finances. Let's see what the Bible has to say about managing your finances. Proverbs, the 21st chapter and the 20th verse states, there is treasure to be desired in oil in the dwelling of the wise, but a foolish man spendeth it up. And the topic for uh, this evening is it's time to take control of your finances. And the time is now. Do it now. My listeners, in Proverbs, the 21st chapter and the 20th verse, King Solomon is saying that a wise person saves for the future. But a foolish person will spend whatever he gets. To make it plain, my listeners, a foolish person is irresponsible and reckless with his money. This individual thinks about right now and not concerned about saving anything for the future. The foolish person's motto is, I'm living it up now. I'm going to enjoy my money now and let tomorrow take care of itself. My listeners, we need to take control of our finances. Our income is God's provision, and we should utilize it wisely. My listeners, ask God to help you to become a good steward with your finances. We should not work so hard to make money and then waste it on useless things. What this means is that we should make every effort to make a plan, set goals, save a percentage of our monies each payday, cut down on spending, know how much income is coming in into the household each month, get out of debt, and look out for the future. My listeners, it's my goal on this evening to empower you so you can gain back your control to effectively manage your finances. A valuable tool that will help you to take charge of your money throughout your lifetime is a budget. It's a plan, which is like a roadmap of how you spend and save your money. The benefits of a budget. Utilizing a budget will help you to live within your means. Another great benefit of a budget is that you will be able to handle and organize your finances so you will be able to withstand life's uncertainties in the future. Better prepare for emergencies ahead, like layoffs, company closings, downsizings, if you have car repairs, house repairs, sickness, pandemics, etc. The list goes on. And with a budget, you will be able to track your spending and see where you are overspending. Living on a budget will cure the living from paycheck to paycheck syndrome. Let me repeat that again. Living on a budget will cure the living paycheck to paycheck syndrome. Now, listeners, you need to take an inventory of all the bills that you have, how much you owe, spend, and save. And this is an example. You can have file folders, set up with your credit card statements, household bills, insurance expenses, pet expenses, bill expenses, or you can have maybe like little envelopes. You can have all your little to keep it organized. This is just an example, but take an inventory of everything and do the work and do it now. And also, when you take an inventory, check your pay stubs. Check your pay stubs, credit card statements, bank statements, so you will get a clear picture in your head on how much you have coming in and how much you have going out and where your money is going. And also the source of your income. It could be the income of where you work, your pensions, etc. And extra money is coming in. That's coming to your household. Be prepared to spend some time. It is necessary. And again, do the work. And the time is now. And let's take a look at some documents on the PowerPoint. Okay, you want to set goals. And some examples of some goals. I just made up these goals. Set up an emergency fund to cover living expenses for 1 year. Another goal, another great goal, saving for retirement, paying off debt, purchasing a home, do it now. Set up some goals. And goals are very important. They give you something to strive for, and it helps you to take control of your financial decisions. Know the difference between needs and wants. Okay, needs are necessities, essentials we must have to survive. And we all know that necessities are food, shelter, and clothing. Wants are desires, something you would like to have and can live without. And some good examples of wants: dining out. I mean, that's not a necessity. Dining out, cable, a cruise vacation. Now, wants, again, like I stated, is something you would like to have, but you can live without these. You can live without these. So if you're having a hard time saving money or finding yourself getting into debt because of your wants, you need to start cutting these items out of your budget until you get your spending under control. Okay, this is an example of a budget, of a personal budget. Now, on the budget, you notice the very first column, I have four categories: projected amount, action amounts, and notes. Now, under the categories, now the first section, I have income. And this is how much money is coming in the household. You have your salary, which is your take home pay, and I'm listing on the projected amount. And you have your other income, any extra money. Now, your projected amount, basically, you're estimating specific amounts that you anticipate that will be coming in your household. And your actual amount is the real. Okay. So the two columns you want to be working on is the projected amount. These are, again, you estimating. Okay. So we're looking at the income first, and then you're going to have the actual amount. And you can write some notes on the side. So after you have projected and made your actual figures when it comes in, you will have your totals. Okay, now, so like I said, before the end of the month, you're going to actually document your actual totals. But at the very beginning, you do your estimations. Now, as we go on, you have your expenses. Now, your expenses are basically the money that's being paid out. Now, you can organize your budget any way you want, but I like to do mine in order of importance. So for me, it's my tithes. The first thing I do, when I get paid, I take my 10% of my tithes. And I believe in honoring God with my tithes. And don't be guilty of robbing God. So I projected, for example, I says non-profit charitable organization. I have the first thing, my tithes. So I projected, of course, it's going to be the actual, unless I make some extra money, it'll be more. But I have my projections of my tithes. And if there are any other charitable organizations that you want to donate your money, you can put that as well too. As well, I have number 2 blank, and I have another space in the event that I want to make a donation. My projected amount, and then notice here I have and let me go back to the tithes. Now, my listeners, pay God first. I want to say that's very important. Pay God first before you start paying your bills. You don't want to wait to pay all your bills and then say, well, this is all I have. I have $10 left over. I'm going to give it to the church. No, 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 no. Take your tithes out first. Pay God first. And because if you wait until you pay all your bills, you won't have anything left over. So don't give God your crumbs. Don't give God your leftovers. You give him the best. Give him the top from the best. And he deserves the best. God is worthy. So give your 10% of your income. And you do that from the very first go. Set your tithes first. And then after you pay your tithes, after you honor God, then you will actually start on your savings. When I say start your savings, you are considered as a bill, your expense. God first and you second. So savings is considered as an expense. Look at it as a bill. You're paying yourself. So after you pay God first with your tithes, you pay yourself next. And make it your goal to save at least 10%. If you can save more than 10%, do so. And make it a goal. So have a surplus in your emergency fund. And I have here, notice I have emergency fund right on the side of a savings account. You want to have a surplus of at least 6 months to 1 year of living expenses. Now, you know how much money you're spending out for bills. Now, so the total you spend each month for your bills, you should have at least 6 months to 1 year worth of expenses. So if you should get laid off your job or downsizing on your company, you will have enough to live on for that 6 months to 1 year from your savings account. So it's very essential, even for emergencies or whatever. You may have car repairs. I mean, anything can come up, so that you will have enough money to cover those emergencies or anything that should come up, anything that's unforeseen, and it will come up. And I would like to encourage you to set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account. And so you want to have it set up when have it set up that corresponds to your pay period at your place of work. So whenever you get paid, you can have it set up that it would just take it off from the top and put it in your savings account. And aim again for at least 10%. If you can save more, do so. Now, if you receive pay raises, pretend you didn't get that raise and put that raise in your savings account. And just pretend you didn't even get the raise. So any extra money that's coming in, toss it, put it in your savings account. Now, again, remember, you're going to make your projections first. You're estimating. That's what projected means, is to estimate. And then once before the end, you're going to put your actual totals here. Your actual amount. These are your realistic totals. Estimating and your realistic totals and your actual amount. And let's go through with the budget. I guess some examples. And as you continue on, you can be as detailed as you want. I'm just a very detailed person. And so if your life insurance policies, encourage you, please have some life insurance. Okay. Again, you're projecting to make your actual amounts. And your food. Now, some people may just lump them together. I like to have it separated. I want to see how much is going out for groceries, how much is going out eating out. I need to know that. Okay. Household expenses, your mortgage, rent, your don't forget your insurance and your house repairs. Okay, you can make an estimation. And then your medical bills. That concludes your co-pays and prescriptions. Yes, moving right along. Utilities, that would be your water, gas, electricity bills, phone. Okay, that could be cell phones. Some of you may still have landlines, internet, cable. List all your, think of everything you can possibly think of that's coming in and out of your household. Transportation, car payments, car insurance, gasoline, car repairs. Okay. Continuing on. You may have more bills or less bills. Okay, in the last section, I have debts. That'd be credit cards. You may have credit cards, student loans, in personal loans. Okay. And here's some more examples. Get your hair fixed. Your hair. Some of you may have nails. Okay, spending change. Okay, everything. Now, don't forget you have magazine subscriptions that may be like once a year. We'll divide that total by 12. You may have magazine subscriptions. Uh, you may have something else coming in, taxes or whatever. You have to figure that in as well too. Okay. Now, once you have listed all those, you have all your projections in, go back and put the actual amounts in. And you're going to total up both columns of those expenses. Now, once you have completed this step, you're going to now figure out your balance. Now, balance means how much money you have left over. So you're subtracting your bills from your income. Okay, and you're going to do that for each column, projected and your actual amounts. Now, the next step is very important. When you complete your entire budget, this is when you will track your expenses. You're going to compare your actual expenses to you're going to compare it to your projected expenses. Now, the reason why you want to see if you stay committed to your action plan. And so if your actual amounts and some of these, if it's actually higher than your projected amounts, well, you overspent. Okay. And so those are the areas that you need to go back and see, you know what? Say, for example, maybe you had for your projected amount for your hair salon, maybe you had $75, and maybe at the hair salon, maybe it was $150. Well, you need to make some changes over there. Okay. So I'm just giving an example. And so you need to, it's a good way to identify areas where you can cut back to save money. And of course, another one, and I can tell you about that cable, okay, and that internet. And so maybe that cable bill, you decide, I want an extra movie channel. Well, you may have projected maybe $150 a month for your cable, and that actual amount maybe came out to $250, $100 more. So that's an area where you can cut back. Maybe you don't need all the movie channels, okay? Or maybe you need to cut off the cable altogether if it's messing up your budget. Okay, so identify areas where you can cut back to save money. Now, if you have a negative balance, okay, when you're subtracting your expenses from your total and you come out with a negative balance, my, that's a wake-up call, my listeners, because you don't want to have a negative balance. But if you have a negative balance and continue overspending, well, that may be an indication you may need to find you a little part-time job. Okay, but you need to cut back on your spending and find a part-time job because you cannot be in the red every month. So that's not good. And so the last column, like I said, is good for writing notes. So like if you will overspend on one column, you may put some little notations on here. I need to cut back on this area. Okay, but that was the purpose of the notes. So remember, when you're on a budget, you always want to have some money left over because emergencies will pop up. Okay, they will pop up unexpectedly. Now, these expenses can ruin your budget. Bank maintenance fees. And basically, you have some banks that may say, we have free checking. But here are the signs that you need to think about. Here are some of the the triggers. When you have a free checking account, you have to maintain a certain balance. And some banks, every bank is different, but you may have some banks may say you need to have at least $1,000 balance to maintain $1,000 or $500 balance in your checking account to become free. Now, if you don't maintain that balance, you may have to pay a $10 a month, a $5 a month, or whatever fee. So that's how you can be wasting money. And then you have some banks that may tell you you can have a free checking account, but you need to use your debit card about 10 times a month. And if you do not use that debit card 10 times a month, you will be slapped with a $5 fee or a $10 fee, whatever fee. Those are bank maintenance fees. So beware, my listeners, when you see something that's free. There's something behind that free that you have to keep up your end of the bargain. And when you don't keep up your end of the bargain, they will slap you. The bank will slap you with those fees. Okay, you have ATM fees. Now, when you have an ATM card, now some banks, they may have a network of places where you can use those ATMs. And if you go to another bank, maybe it's not on their in their network, you can end up paying $3, $6 every time you're out of the network. And then the guest bank that you're going to, they can charge you a fee too. So this is ways that you're wasting. In other words, you're wasting money, my listeners. You're wasting money. Okay, so just beware of the ATM fees and the bank maintenance fees. And also high interest loans. That can be a waste of money. The loans, the interest rate is too high. High interest credit card bills. I mean, right now, these credit card interest rates, they're up like 24%, 19.99%. There are some credit card companies, and I have researched, my listeners, I have seen it online. There are a couple of companies. If you have really, really bad credit, there are some companies that will charge you 39.99% for having a credit card because the person, the credit is so bad and they want a credit card where they charge them 39.99%. So please make sure you pay your bills on time. Cable can ruin your budget. And like I said, if you find yourself you're in debt, cut off that cable. Dining out, take out, deliver. There's extra money. It's cheaper to cook home. I know there are times that you may not be able to cook. Sometimes you may be so busy, but cut back on your dining out. Cut back on the takeouts and delivery fees. I mean, $5 add up. $5, $3, those dollars add up. You can be putting it in your savings account. So these expenses can ruin your budget. You may not think about those maintenance fees every month, $4 a month, but that adds up. $50 a year, that could be money in your savings account. So just remember, there's all those little things can add up to big things. So keep track on paying your bills on time. And I suggest using a monthly calendar so you won't forget. Okay, because your bills come in, you may toss them aside, but get a calendar. Get a calendar. What you can do, this is what I do. I normally, and your bills basically come in the same time, basically every month. I will circle the date on the calendar and write the name of the bill. And that way, when you pay it off, just put a check on it and just continue and just go on and you're finished. And that way you won't be late. And do the work. It doesn't take long to just write the name of the bills and circle the dates. And that way you'll never forget. And you save money because if you're late with some of those bills, they will charge you $5, $10 late charges. And that can add up. And that's money you could be saving. So don't throw away your money like that. Do the work. Okay, as I was stating, honor God with your tithes, my listeners. Honor God with your tithes. He's worthy of it. 10% of your income. And save at least 10% of your income. More if you can. And save your loose change. I have my little piggy bank here. If you can see it, I'm a little piggy bank here. Save a little loose change. When you will go grocery shopping, just save a little change. Oh, the quarters, I'm sorry. Those quarters and nickels and dimes add up. set goals, and live within your means. And some people say live below your means. Spend less than what you earn and stick to your budget and plan, plan, plan. And again, I just want to say that again. The emergency fund is so important to have it, that emergency fund, and don't wait. Do it now. Okay? And make goals, like I said at the very beginning, and plan. Do the work. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it. And I like to say, keeping up with the Joneses will leave you broke. My listeners, the Joneses, you need to remember that you're the person that will be paying the bills, not the Joneses. You'll be the person paying the bills. You'll be the person staying up late at night trying to figure out how you're going to get out of debt. So let's stop thinking about what the Joneses have. Don't try to keep up with them. You be happy with what you have, because trying to keep up with another person will just leave you out of debt and leave you broke. Thank God for what you have. Lesson from Proverbs, the 30th chapter, verses 24 and 25. There are four things which are little upon the earth, but they are exceeding wise. The ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their meat in the summer. So we can learn a lesson, my listeners, from the ant. And ants are known for being wise, focused, hardworking, and preparing for the future. They work hard in gathering and storing food well ahead of winter. Get a little picture there. I mean, he's working. They work in the summertime. They work hard. Now, if a little creature like an ant can work during the summer and look ahead for the future, I mean, they look ahead for cold days, and right now it is cold. I don't see any ants outside working. I haven't seen one ant working outside in this cold. In the freeze, you won't see any ants. They did all their preparation in the summertime. And right now they're in their little houses. I mean, just taking it easy. So if they could prepare, we as humans have no excuse. And I know we have a brain. We have more sense. We should have more sense than an ant. My listeners, it's not how much money you make. It's not about what you make. It's what you do with what you make. So we need to get our spending under control. And let's be like the ant. You know, work, 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 work. Work hard. Save for the future. Get your spending under control. Don't spend money just frivolously. You know, don't spend money to impress others. Live within your means. You must be consistent with your savings. Make it a priority to save regularly. Don't save when you just feel like, make it a habit. It should be a part of you. The first thing you do, after you pay your tithes, and make that a habit too. Pay your tithes, make that a habit. Pay honor God first with your tithes. Make it a habit paying your tithes. But you need to also, number two, make it a habit to save your money. And it save at least 10% of your income. And place your extra change. Look at this. See a little extra change here? And I love it when this little piggy bank is full. I'm saving. Okay? Those quarters add up. When you go to the store and when you buy groceries, extra change, put in your little piggy bank. When you fill it up, take it to the bank and deposit it. And that's extra money. Okay? You don't throw away pennies and nickels and dimes. They add up. Benjamin Franklin says, a penny saved is a penny earned. If you find that you are spending more money than what you are earning, Find ways to increase your income. I said this once. I said it again. Cut back on your spending, or find a part-time job. My viewers, be sure to listen to the money management video entitled "It's Time to Get Out of Debt." This YouTube video explains how to get out of debt. My listeners, I want you to think about your decisions and how it will impact your finances now and in the future. And again, I want you to think about the people around you. You know, when people buy nice things, they might buy these nice fancy cars. You should be happy for that person. You can tell that person, you know what? That is such of a nice car. That you don't have to jump and buy a car because that person buy a car. You buy a car because you need a car. But you can go over and tell that person, you know what, that's a very nice car. Someday, when I get my finances up to par and when I get that nice job and able, you may get that car. But like I said, if your car is running and nothing wrong with your car, you don't jump up and buy a vehicle because somebody else has a vehicle. You try to outdo someone because they have something, you want something bigger to make an impression. But you're not hurting no one but yourself. You're getting yourself a lot of unnecessary debt. You dig in a hole and it'd be so deep that you can't get out of it. So think about the decisions that you make. Think about before you spend. Think about, do you actually need it? Think about the decision before you spend your money. Think about it. Is it a necessity? Is it a want? Are you trying to impress somebody? Okay, we're not living to impress. We're not living to impress. That can get you in a whole lot of trouble, a lot of financial trouble. So just think about how your decisions, how you spend your money, how it will impact your finances now and in the future. God expects us to make wise financial decisions, live a financial responsible life. And he also requires us to do what we can, what we have. God is holding us responsible. And like I said, our job is our provision. So we have no excuse. He gave you the job. So when you have that job, you have a responsibility to God as well, too, to be wise in how you manage your money. Don't just spend it and be wasteful. He's holding you responsible. So you do what you can, what you have. And remember, my listeners, if you fail to plan to fail. And the budget is a roadmap to be utilized to keep the finances under control. So thank you, my viewers, for tuning in this evening to Essential Inspirational Highlights. I am your host, Sister Jamie. I will be back in 2 weeks on Friday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good evening.